Hello, everybody. Dave Neal here, stand-up comic, host of Bachelor Nation News. We have a story here of Katie Thurston crying on her Instagram, and it's just refreshing to see somebody crying that's not named Rachel Recchia. I'm kidding. Tears are healthy. It's good to get it out. Of course, I added to the crying there with some MS Paint. I think I did a pretty good... Look, like I said yesterday, I'm no Leonardo da Vinci, I'm no Leonardo DiCaprio, and I am no Leonardo from Ninja Turtles, but I am proficient in Photoshop, if you will. And what does this mean? She said she recorded this story Wednesday and then muted it and only showed you the visuals. Can we get some lip readers out there? Hoping for the best, ready to move on with my life. What does it mean? We need to know. We're getting the X-Files clues. We're ready to go. Let's dive into it, baby. The truth is in the toes. Follow me on Instagram at DNeals. I've got some stand-up shows on Friday and next week as well. I'm also on Patreon right now. Come to Patreon. I'll be live until noon today. Patreon.com/Dave Neal. Go check that out for private bonus content. After the Nate video we dropped earlier today, I will be telling you my real unfiltered thoughts. Not to say I don't share that with you here. Shout out to Game of Roses. Okay, let's get into it. So she makes this yesterday. Let's get rid of this voicemail line. She makes this Instagram story yesterday with some updates today. So let's just go back to the beginning. Let's see what we have here. Happy International Cat Day. Very nice, Tommy. Congrats. There's Tommy licking some weed. It looks like, I don't know, maybe it's not weed. Let's see what she has to say here.
Crashing my stories.
That's what cats do.
I'm not going to be recapping The Bachelorette today.
Breaking news.
I'm just going to leave it at that.
All right, so she says, I'm not recapping The Bachelorette. All right, Katie. All right, we're on to you. What's going on here? All right, so let's see. She does it. So, the perfect influencer thing. I'll let you guys ask me questions and I'll respond to it. I like it. AMA, ask me anything. And then she starts to share some, she graduated high school in 2009. If anyone wants to feel old, 2009 was a fun year. All right, anyway, so she has a reel. We'll get into that in a second. She says, I just asked the universe, supplies, I am protected. Okay. This is like at the Clara level of like subtle quotes and things like that. Taking Back Sunday. Okay, so then why aren't you recapping The Bachelorette? Popular question, and many questions sent tonight simply have a to be determined answer, as in, she'll tell you why, but let's try to read between the lines. Is this Katie? Is that Katie Thurston right there? What is this sort of like Gap commercial? I love it. Oh boy. Love a good nostalgic Katie. He says he wants things to be casual, but everything he does screams relationship. Okay, what do you want? If you want to be casual and he doesn't, it's time to cut ties. All right, Katie offering good relationship advice. Someone said, how are you doing really, girlfriend? And then she said recorded Wednesday, muted for legal reasons. All right, let's try to, I'm going to keep the audio off and let's try to see what she's saying. I'm sad because, no, I don't even know what to say. Sniffle. Here's the thing. I wish I could join Dave's Patreon, patreon.com/Dave Neal. Is that what she said? You can join. All right, so she didn't tell us what she was saying there for legal reasons. Someone asked if she's had any success dating from Raya. That's that celebrity verified only app. She says, no, the app feels basic. I already paid for the year. All right. Okay, let's see if we have anything else. Were you at DCFK on Saturday? This was from last month. Went to Death Cab for karaoke by myself and had the best time. Met some great people, but no, I wasn't there this past weekend. I can confirm. Someone said, do you get recognized in public a lot? She said, not as much as you think because people expect me to be taller. I'm 5'4" on a good day. The 2 times that I hung out with Katie in Los Angeles, I don't think she got recognized once. In New York, when she was with Blake, they got recognized a lot, but that was right after their season aired. Blake's a bigger guy. Like she said, she can blend in a little bit. But to their credit, the other former Bachelor alumni didn't get recognized either. They're humans just like us. All right, will you freeze your eggs? Guess I should figure that out sooner than later. And let's see if I'm missing anything here. I think we might have some more story updates. We do. We have 2 more story updates. Or 1 more story update. When are you going on Game of Roses? She says, as soon as I'm legally allowed to. And then that shirt says, for the right reasons. And I've got a Game of Roses shirt right now. Doesn't this fit me nice? It's good on the arms. We need snugness on the arms, but loose on the belly. This is the old gluten t-shirt. It's like, I'm going to eat some pizza, but I'll do curls once a week. Okay. So anyway, there she is. saying as soon as I'm legally allowed to. So essentially what she's saying here is she'll go on Game of Roses when she's allowed to. The reason she hasn't gone on Game of Roses yet is because she's not allowed to. Now, if we piece things together, her 1 year, so the contract that they sign, they are not, the leads for 1 year are not allowed to do unapproved podcasting, things like that. So like she wouldn't be allowed to talk to me for the first year since the ending of her season, which ended last August. So technically she should be allowed to at this point. If she's not allowed to, excuse me, then that means Bachelor in their agreement, their contracts, has the right to extend the contracts of the leads. When it comes to, now, I don't know if they're allowed to extend the contracts of the other contestants. I think on Bachelor in Paradise they are because they're paid, but the contestants that are on Bachelor and Bachelorette are not paid. So I'm not really sure what that contract's all about. Again, not a legal expert. This is just my general knowledge from shows. Now, Mari was on Reddit, Mari Pepin, Miss Puerto Rico, and says, yes, everyone thinks, some cast included, that contract being up means they can spill tea and say what they want and reveal things that happen behind the scenes. But that isn't the case. In fact, it's spelled out quite clearly that the non-disclosure agreement is in perpetuity, like a Scientology contract. 10,000 years. 525,600 minutes. Well, that's actually 1 year. I want to get out of my contract, for instance, in cups of coffee, for drama and sipping tea all day long. 525,600. Is he going to sing the whole song? I will, dang it. Don't you worry about it. Mari says they are never allowed to do those things. We just aren't required to run projects, gigs by ABC anymore. Okay, so what Mari is saying, and this is confirmed to what I believed, again, Mari's not a lawyer, I'm not a lawyer, but that after the year's up, they no longer have to run gigs or projects by the show unless you're extended. We know people in the past, there's been plenty of leads and contestants that have been extended in the past. Now the question becomes, if you don't want to be extended, can you do anything about it? And honestly, whenever you're questioning legal contracts, binding contracts, unless it goes to the court, who knows? Like Katie could decide, you know what? I'm going to break my contract and go interview with Game of Roses, and maybe she'll get a cease and desist, or maybe they'll just flat out sue her. As we know, Luke P was sued because he went on 4 different podcasts, or 5. And he was, 5. So he was sued $20,000 each time, or maybe $25,000, plus a $20,000 court fees. So he ended up having to pay $120,000 to Bachelor, which of course, is that right? You know, I mean, are these contracts fair? Here's what I've said all along. We know that Bachelor has a team of lawyers. They have a production company. They cover their ass. And we know the contestants generally are unknown humans, plebeians, Roman commoners. They're just normal humans who usually sign these contracts without lawyers present. So the question becomes, and I know the answer here, should a contract be valid if one side signs the contract with their own best interest and the other side is kind of ignorant to what that actually means? So, morally speaking, it seems to be unfair. Now, I'm going to be going live on Patreon to continue to discuss this. The chat's already going on. Patreon.com/Dave Neal if you want to check that out. Tammy, who's also friends with Katie and the San Diego crew, lives in LA. Very nice. I met Tammy at a concert, and she was actually very nice. But she said she quit Bachelor. She said, I'm done with this franchise. I don't know what that's all about, but we're seeing that things are going beyond just the contract. And I compared this to a cult last week, where in a cult, the cult leader has like ultimate control, so people stay in line because, like take Scientology, call it a cult, call it a church, whatever you want. Scientology, they do all these confessions, these e-meters, right, where people bare all their soul, and people are afraid to leave the church because they're afraid to have all of that used against them and exposed. Well, these contestants are afraid to speak up against the Bachelor because best case scenario, they can get back on Bachelor in Paradise. The carrot is dangled in front of them. With Katie, she says, I don't want anything to do with the show. No harm to them. I just want to be released from the show, it seems. So here's what she posted just a few days ago. Let's see. This video is, it says 14 hours ago. Hold on. Oh, hold on. This video is see TikTok. Okay, 6 days ago.
Do me a favor. I have put my this is your 2-minute recap.
What the hell?
You guys could do me a favor. I
Okay.
have put my YouTube channel in my
So she
bio.
puts her
There are no
YouTube
videos.
in her bio.
Obviously, I cannot
I'm talking
have a
over it
YouTube channel until I'm off
because
contract
there's
soon.
licensed music.
But I can't even do a custom URL until I have like 100 subscribers, which is kind of weird.
So she says, I can't, she says, I might be starting,
This is your
she says, I'm
2-minute
trying,
recap.
she says, excuse me, TikTok's tough to manage here. She says, I'm trying to start my YouTube soon. So here she is 6 days ago saying, I'm starting my YouTube soon. And then here she is saying, as soon as I'm legally allowed to. So we'll know if she doesn't start the YouTube, it would be assumed that Bachelor isn't letting her. That's what the assumption would be, correct? So I've got some notes here. So when people wonder, like, well, if you're like, what can happen within that first year if you're under contract? So as far as I know, you can still take outside jobs, sponsorships, opportunities, but they have to be run through the Bachelor first. So to use this current season as an example, the guy with the nickname Meatball can't just go selling, Swanson's meatballs, although that would be a great brand sponsorship. It would have to get pre-approved from The Bachelor. So if you go on the show what's that guy with the Waboom? If you're the Waboom guy, well, I don't know. That might be a tough example because he owned the company beforehand. But if you're Kelsey and you start chugging wine, champagne, and it spurts over your face, and you wanted to make a merchandise shirt that says, I'm Kelsey and I love wine, the show would have to approve that in that first year. So this is the show's way of trying to keep people from monetizing. Now you might say, hey, well, the show's trying to protect its integrity. Okay, well, to an extent. But how far down the line should the show be allowed to keep people from essentially working, getting paid? Now, could you go back to a job you had before the show? Yes, you could. But the show makes you sort of famous. The show makes you sort of like unable to just do certain jobs. We know people in the past went back to being a flight attendant, but they had a hard time because people wanted photos and this and that. Some people like Pilot Pete, he can still do his job, but some people find it hard to go back to the job they had before. Now, if you look at rookie contracts here, this is for NFL. In the NFL, when you are drafted into the NFL, you sign a contract for 4 years, which is really scary because that's the NFL minimum wage. Now you might say, okay, Dave, but the minimum wage is like $800,000. 10% goes to this, 20% to the agent, 10%. Next thing you know, an $800,000 paycheck might only be $250,000. And you go, wow, that's $250,000. That's amazing. You might have CTE. You might break your leg. There are so many things that can happen that you will reduce your earning potential in the future. So a lot of times, if you're like a rookie who's like stand out, you become an all-star, you might be the best running back by your third year. You don't want to work for minimum wage. Well, you might hold out. You might say, you know what? I'm holding out for a better contract. And a good NFL team would say, you know what? You deserve more than this. We recognize your value X, Y, and Z. Well, as far as I know, how it works within the Bachelor world is that when your contract's extended in the Bachelor world, it's not for nearly as much money as you might be able to make on a free market. Now, like I said, I understand if you end your Bachelor experience the next day, you shouldn't be, doing a commercial for Lexus if the Bachelor franchise only works with Kia. Okay, just as an example. So they build in that 1 year buffer period, but it really takes money out of the pockets in future earning potential of these contestants. Now, like I said, I understand a lot of people aren't going to empathize because maybe you're at a job where you don't make that much money, but you have to understand the show, the producers, everyone that's involved behind the scenes is making a lot of money on this TV show, and then they get to dictate the terms for these contestants, which of course they do sign these contracts, but things change. So anyway, Katie posted this a few weeks ago during the Nick Viall crazy week we had a couple weeks ago. Just me waiting for my proceeds from all the content generated around my 60-second thoughts. Of course, like I said, in reference to the Nick debacle, which I've made money, other commentators have profited off of it. We've all talked about it, but she hasn't actually been able to make any money because she's been under contract. So a lot of this doesn't have to do with wanting to stick it to the show, but it just seems like the inability to fairly monetize your own story. Again, like was said before by Mari, this doesn't mean she or anyone else is trying to talk bad about the show. That contract, that NDA will exist forever. It's really just about wanting to move forward. And look at the Bachelor as like parents. Imagine if you're like, oh my gosh, I got this cool job. This is going to be amazing. And your dad's like, no, you're not. You can't do that. You're like, what are you talking about? So the money that the Bachelor offers to extend a contract isn't what they're paid initially up front. So it's not like it's a lot of money. And I would say it for sure probably doesn't even cover someone's rent. Okay. So, in not even being able to cover people's rent, they're telling them what jobs they can't do. Not good. So, because like if you look at Joe and Serena, Joe works for the Bachelor podcast. They did the CoverGirl commercial. For sure, CoverGirl is working with the Bachelor. The Bachelor is making money off of that. So, I can understand that the contracts are there to protect from someone, say like who's on the show right now. Say Rachel Recchia wants to do a competitor to CoverGirl. Maybe it's Maybelline. Is that CoverGirl? Is Maybelline? Anyway, whatever. What's another makeup? Sephora? I don't know. So you got yeah. My gosh, I can't believe you don't know. I know I've been accused of white eyeliner, but this is natural lack of anemic. Whatever. I don't know. The point is, if Rachel Recchia is like, I'm going to do a waterproof eyeliner because I cry so much and it keeps my makeup on, she can't do that until 1 year after her season ends. And if the Bachelor wants, they can extend that a full year. So it could be that Rachel Recchia, we're using her as an example, could take 2 years from the end of her show to monetize her journey whatsoever. And that's a big deal. 2 years is a lifetime with today's cycle. Like, it's all about like getting your money and taking care of yourself, because the show's going to take your storyline, bend it like it's in the fantasy suite, you know what I mean, and do whatever they want with it. Shouldn't these contestants have some rights? And like I said, I can already read the comments people are going to have being like, they know what they signed up for, whatever. Just be a little empathetic here, guys, right? The show's making a fortune off of their stories. They're not paying the contestants except for the leads, and that, adds up over time. All right, here's Katie Thurston's class of 2009 photos here. Let's see what we have here. All right. Wow. Very nice. Grateful Dead, Acid, plus playing football. Very good. It looks like she's friends with Justin Bieber. Is that Justin Bieber? Very nice there. What's next? Okay. Toilet papering a car. Not environmental. There it is, folks. Katie Thurston hates the environment. All right. Here it is. A studious Katie Thurston there. Librarian Katie. Very nice. Maybe a cheerleader. Sweatshirt on. Royals. Oh, there she is, appropriating cultures with the peace sign. Backwards hat. Side tongue. All right. There she is, making fun of elves. And another side. Boy, does she looks like she was just auditioning for the Exorcist movie. There she... Oh, well, speaking of Exorcist, now we've got Zombie Bride with a Waldo. Very nice. Zombie Bride with a Waldo. All right. Very good. And then here she is, bangs Katie. Okay. And then another one. Katie likes to keep the mouth open when she's a mouth open smiler. Totally fair. And then here oh, very nice. That's just a standard photo. And they graduated. They got the hair did for the graduation. And then this looks like a security footage.
Take it. Just look. It froze.
So they didn't know it was a video. All right, there they are trying on sunglasses. No one hates teenagers more when they're trying on sunglasses at a store. It's like, buy the dang hat or get out of my tourist shop, Rebecca. All right, so anyway, she's started, like I said. Oh, by the way, I wanted to include this. Some people were thinking that maybe legally she wasn't allowed to talk because of this defamation lawsuit. Some weird right-wing troll threatened to sue her and say he's got to get his defamation lawyer to sue her, and they had the whole thing ready to go. That was a month ago, and nothing has come from that. So that's not what the story's all about. And there it is. No content. This channel has no videos. So until further notice, it looks like she is in complete control, or she is not in complete control. The Bachelor is in control of what she's got going on. All right, so I think that sums up the video. I think we made some pretty brief yet wide generalizations, but let me know what you guys think. Leave a comment. I've got more content coming your way. I'm going live on Patreon right after this stand-up show this Friday night. Patreon.com/Dave Neal. We'll talk to you guys later. Bye.